Welcome once again to our encouraging word. We're continuing to work our way through God's toolbox, the Word of God, one book at a time, and we're generally trying to focus on one verse out of each book of the Bible. And we're now up to 1 Chronicles, and the verse that we want to use today is 1 Chronicles 29, verse 14. Now, to understand that verse, we need to have some context. King David was getting to the point in his life where he wanted to leave a legacy for those who would follow him. He was getting toward the end of his life, and he was thinking about those who would follow him. And he had a wonderful idea for a great way to leave a legacy. He decided he would like to build a temple to glorify God and to bless the people. And it was a great idea, except for God said, no, that's a job for your son Solomon to do. Well, David was disappointed at this news, but it didn't stop him. He realized, oh my goodness, if Solomon is going to build this temple, this magnificent temple for God, he's going to need a design. He's going to need materials. He's going to need money to pull this off. And so David worked ahead on all of those things. He got the design, and he drew into the national treasury for gold and silver and bronze and precious woods, precious jewels, all the materials that would be needed. And then to go beyond that, he reached deep into his own pockets, and he gave exceedingly generously toward the project. And that inspired the leaders of the nation and the people to do the same. They all gave exceedingly generously until they had this great big pile ready to build the temple and pay for the temple. And so at that point, David said a prayer. And so you can see why we're in the modern version of the temple right now to give this talk. They were getting ready to build this temple. At that point, David said a prayer, and this is a portion of the prayer. But who am I and who are my people that we should be able to give as generously as this? Everything comes from you, God, and we have given you, God, only what comes from your hand. It's an interesting prayer. David at this point could have been very proud. It could have been a time for great pride. Look what our country did. Look what I did. Look what our people did. Boy, aren't we something. But instead of feeling prideful, they were filled with humility. They realized that they had been given a great privilege to give unto the Lord and to succeeding generations. And everything that they had to give came from the hand of God. God gave it to them so that they could use it to bless other people. Well, it's a wonderful verse because it sets us thinking about what kind of legacy will we leave and what do we have from God's hand. So some of us have a lot of wealth, and the question for us is, how are we going to leave a legacy using that wealth? How are we going to bless the generations following us with the wealth that we have? Because, we can't take it with us. So how are we going to use it to bless other people? And not only have we been given wealth, we've been given education, we've been given experience, we've been given energy, we've been given abilities. And all of those things can be used to leave a legacy, can be used to bless those who are coming behind. Our children, our grandchildren, our community, our nation, and even our world. Everything we have comes from the hand of God, and He's generously given it to us so that we can turn around and bless Him and bless others. That's such an encouraging thought. It's a great thought for us to ponder. This is our encouraging word. Thanks be to God.